Well, welcome everybody to BirdNote's 18th birthday celebration, a virtual raptor event with Cascades Nature Center. My name is Dan Moore. I'm the president of the BirdNote Board of Directors, and I'm super excited that you've joined us today. Just a quick note, this event is being recorded and closed captioning is available as an option at the bottom of your Zoom screen. We want to make sure that this is a kind and welcoming environment for everyone. So bullying, harassment, or spam of any kind will result in us removing you from the event. I'm coming to you live from Seattle, Washington, which is the traditional territories of the Duwamish tribe and the people of ancestral Duwamish territory. And I'm excited to share with you that even though I'm here in Seattle, there are over 500 registrants of this event, and they are representing almost every US state and more than 6 countries, including Greece, Costa Rica, Trinidad, and Tobago. So welcome everybody, and thank you for being here for this celebration. You'll also want to stick around all the way to the end, where we will be announcing the winners of BirdNote's 18th birthday photo contest. So some amazing photographs there that we're excited to announce the winners for that. The purpose of this event is to bring together BirdNote's community from around the world, our listeners, our supporters, and everyone who's been with us, whether from the very beginning or just found out about this morning. And we're here to celebrate 18 years of BirdNote, and we have a very special bird event here with some raptor presentation. In case you didn't know, BirdNote is an independent nonprofit media production organization that connects millions of people around the world with nature and birds through powerful storytelling. We believe that birds connect us with the joy and wonder of nature, and by telling vivid, sound-rich stories about birds and the challenges they face, BirdNote inspires listeners to care about the natural world and take steps to protect it. By tuning into the lives of birds, listeners become champions for conservation and stewards of places important to birds and people. Since 2005, we've expanded from playing on one public radio station to now airing on more than 250 radio stations in North America and a global listening base through podcast listening services. With an estimated audience of over 5 million people, BirdNote is helping to create a more peaceful and connected world by inviting people into the world of birds and inviting them to find common cause with everyone else who cares about protecting life on this planet. Our popular shows include BirdNote Daily, which I heard this morning on my local radio station, KNKX, and thanks KNKX for announcing this celebration today. But we also have BirdNote en Español. Threatened is another popular podcast we have, and Bring Bird Back. These podcasts are free to everyone and available at birdnote.org and also wherever you get your podcasts from. Please spread the word about the podcast. It's sometimes not everybody knows that we have podcasts. They only know about our daily show, but we have amazing podcasts. BirdNote is an independent nonprofit organization, and that means we don't receive financial support from radio stations. We don't have advertising or government grants coming in all the time. And BirdNote is free to everyone, including your local radio station. We are primarily listener funded, and the majority of the funds we use to produce BirdNote shows and events like this one come from generous people like you who value BirdNote enough to contribute. So again, I want to do a shout out for all the people who have made contributions this year already or in past, and we encourage others to join this wonderful community. This event is just a piece of what we offer. So if you appreciate this event and learning more about birds and raptors, please consider donating at any amount that is meaningful to you using the link that's in the chat. You can learn more about BirdNote at birdnote.org. So now my time is up, and I'm super excited to kick off the event and turn it over to Carrie Lorenz. Carrie is a trainer and educator with Cascades Raptor Center and will be presenting a Raptor ambassador from the center. So Carrie, thank you for being here, and thank you everybody else. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan, for that introduction. Thank you guys all for joining us today. My name, as Dan said, is Carrie. This friend I have right here with me is Kirby, the American Kestrel, and we are coming to you from Eugene, Oregon at the Cascades Raptor Center. So a little bit about the Cascades Raptor Center. We are a nonprofit nature and education center that specializes in birds of prey. We also have a wildlife hospital where we get in about 400 injured, orphan, wounded birds of prey. And our number one goal with all of those birds is to rehabilitate and release them back into the wild. Here at the center and our education side, we have about 40 residents, just like Kirby here, whose job has changed from being a hunter in the wild to being an ambassador. So Kirby does programs like this. She also does programs on site, and she is currently in the process of training to ride in her crate so that she can go off site to do school programs or retirement home programs or all that fun stuff. So we're talking about raptors today. Just a quick thing, I saw a pre-asked question about what makes a raptor, so we all should know that. Raptors are birds of prey, like I said, so birds that eat other animals that hunt and kill with their feet. So as you can see, Kirby has got those really cool feet, those sharp talons on the ends of her toes, and she's working on some quail right now. So she is showing off her ripping ability with her beak. Oh, there she got a feather. She didn't want to eat that part. But yeah, so birds of prey that are hunting and catching their food with their feet. And that's what makes a raptor. So you have falcons, hawks, eagles, osprey. Oh, didn't want that piece either. Owls. All those great birds are raptors. So a little bit about Kirby, since she's the one who decided to join us today. What you looking at? She's looking out the window right now, seeing something out there. American Kestrels are the smallest falcon in North America, and their range is all over North America. So you can find them all over here and in South America as well. They are ferocious little hunters. You find them kind of in open grassland areas. They are able to hover in the air while they're looking for their food. These guys eat a lot of mice. They'll eat crickets or grasshoppers. They'll take maybe a small lizard, a small bird. So they are great little predators to see. If you're driving backcountry roads, especially here in Oregon, you'll often see them sitting along the telephone wires. And they sit up there and they'll bob their tail while they're scanning the ground for that food. So as I said, kestrels are found all throughout the United States, and unfortunately, their populations are declining. And we do not know why that is, unfortunately. There is a really cool program through the American Kestrel Partnership, which is a side group of the Peregrine Fund that is doing research to try to figure out why their populations are declining. And they have a really great program that involves citizen scientists, which means that you could get involved with studying why kestrel populations are declining. In that program, they basically set you up and teach you how to monitor a nest box that you put up. And you can say when the kestrels come in to nest, you can say how many babies they are, and that helps us figure out exactly where kestrels are and how populations are doing. So that is a really cool program to get involved with if you are interested in helping out the American Kestrel. What do you think, Kirby Lou, huh? She's getting to that bones of that thing, or that piece of quail. So as you can see, she is eating every part. She picked off a couple of the feathers, but she, as raptors do, eats all parts of the animal. So she is eating the bones, she's eating the meat, she's eating the feathers, and that's very important. That's why we like to say that raptors are animal eaters and not just meat eaters, because as you can see, she's eating every part of that animal. Delicious. Hi, do you want another piece? She's going to talk to you a little bit here. So that's what an American Kestrel sounds like. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Here. Oh, you gotta hide it. She's really excited about that piece of food I just gave her. So another cool thing about American Kestrels are they are one of the few species of raptors that is sexually dimorphic in color, which means that the females and the males look different. So it's really easy to tell if you have a male or female kestrel. So in most raptor species, males and females look pretty much identical, except for size. In the raptor world, females are bigger than males. But in kestrels, so Kirby is a female kestrel, and you can see that ring of blue around her head. If she were a boy, that ring of blue would extend all the way down her wings. And also on her chest, and oh, that's a big bite. She got it down. Oh, maybe not. You gonna be able to deal with that? She got it. She's a professional. So in her chest, instead of having that kind of dappled brown color, you'd have kind of a white solid color with really beautiful polka dots. So males have these really pretty, perfect polka dots along their chests. So when you are out observing kestrels in the wild, it's pretty easy to tell if you're looking at a male or female. What do you think, Curbs, huh? So as with many other falcons, they have falcon characteristics such as those long pointed wings, which I can turn around. You gonna talk about it again? Hi, you want another piece of food here? There we go. So she has those long pointed wings. She has very stiff feathers that allow for very quick flight. So falcons are all about speedy flight. Peregrines, which are probably the most known peregrine falcons, they can dive at speeds of about 240 miles an hour, which is pretty incredible. Now, these guys don't dive. They actually, like I said, will sit on those power lines and look for food, or they can also hover, like I said. So they can hover over an open field and pounce down on those animals that they see down there. So we're at about time for questions. I do see some questions. Do raptors use tools like crows do? Was the first one that I saw. They do not use tools. They use their tools that are on their bodies. So they will use their beaks and they will use their talons, but they do not use like sticks or anything like that to kill their food, which they're using their talons. So they don't really have a reason to use tools. Oops, I missed that. Which one dives at 250 miles an hour? That is the peregrine falcon. They are really crazy. They go way high up in the air and then they dive down to earth like a little torpedo. And the record speed, last I checked, was 243 miles per hour, which is pretty crazy and mind-blowing to think about. What makes something a falcon? So a falcon is a group of raptors that, like I said, those falcon characteristics, they have those long pointed wings. They have these stiff feathers. All falcons have malar stripes or dark under their eyeballs. So if you look at her, she's got those really pretty dark lines under her eyeballs. A peregrine falcon has what kind of looks like a football helmet, but they have got those dark feathers under their eyes. And that works essentially just like the reason baseball players and football players put dark under their eyes. So that kind of cuts down on the reflection so that they can see better in those bright open airs. What is her story? Is the next question I see. So Kirby came to us in 2020 as a baby kestrel. She came from another facility and she came with a couple of other kestrels. Now, when you have baby raptors, they do best when you put them together. When they're raised separately, they get lonely, they need companionship, so you put them together. So we had an aviary full of baby kestrels, and every time a volunteer or staff member would walk in to feed them, all of them would alarm and fly around, which is what you'd expect. That's how they should be. And then Kirby would fly down and land on your head and beg for food. That is not a normal behavior for a wild raptor. And what that tells us is that the person who found her, that originally brought her into a rehab facility, kept her probably longer than they admitted to. So there's a thing called imprinting or human imprinting. And what that is when a baby bird or baby raptor hatches, the first thing that they can see and interacts with them and feeds them, it imprints in their brain, hey, this is what I am, essentially. So Kirby thinks she belongs with people because she was raised by people, unfortunately. And that's why she is with us, because if you tried to release her into the wild as soon as she got hungry or wanted companionship, she would fly down and land on someone's head. And that can put them in a dangerous situation. I mean, it might be cute if it's a little kestrel, but imagine a turkey vulture flying down and trying to land on your head. That both the turkey vultures that live here are both imprints too. So it does happen. How large do they get? Kirby is about as large as they come. So being a female, well, that's not true. We get some big kestrels in here, but body size wise, she's about as big as they come. And she weighed in this morning at 116 grams. So she's not very big. But yeah, these guys are just a very tiny species of falcon. I've seen red tails show some weird eyelids. Do all raptors have these? Yes. All raptors have basically 3 sets of eyelids. And so they can blink down like we blink. When they sleep, this one actually comes up, which we can't do that. And then they have a third eyelid called a nictitating membrane or a nictitan that comes kind of across like this. And it's a translucent membrane, and they use that to protect their eyes. So if this bird were diving through grass, like tall grass, or through like dense vegetation, or hit something on the ground, she might need to protect her eyes because she doesn't want anything in her eyes. So she'll actually close those. Osprey also do that when they dive into the water. They'll close those nictitans so they don't get water in their eyes. Oh no, she dropped her food. The piece that she dropped is mostly bone. She got all the meat off of it, so don't worry too much. Can kestrels be trained like other raptors? Yes, they can. In fact, if you want to be a falconer, I think that's what you're talking about. So falconers are people who hunt with raptors. So instead of going out and shooting an animal with a gun or a bow and arrow, you train your bird to go and hunt for you. And if you want to become a falconer, you have to apprentice. And as an apprentice falconer, you actually can only have an American kestrel or a red-tailed hawk. So a lot of beginner falconers start with this species. And while you're falconing with this species, you're probably not catching much that you're going to eat unless you want to eat some mice or lizards or something like that. Which you probably don't. Starlings, these guys, a lot of falconers will hunt starlings with these guys. So yes, you can train them. Kirby is very, doesn't have that kind of job. She doesn't hunt with us, but she is highly trained to do programs like this. So the fact that she's sitting here, doesn't care about the big mic that's sitting right in front of me, doesn't care about the camera or seeing herself on the screen, that's really, really cool. Meant to say that shrikes hunt and eat small mammals. Are they also considered a raptor? That is a good question. Shrikes are awesome birds. They are not raptors because they do not use their feet and their talons to kill their food. So shrikes actually do this really cool thing where they'll catch their food and they'll impale it on thorns or on like barbed wire, which is wicked and really cool. But they are not considered a raptor because they don't catch their food with their feet. So there are predatory birds. Oh, she sneezed on me. There are predatory birds that are not raptors, like a penguin or a heron or a pelican. Those are all predatory birds, but they're not raptors because they all catch their food with their beaks. Does she drink water or get it from the food? Good question. She does drink water on really, really hot days, but for the majority of the time, all the water that she needs is from her food. So if it's a really hot day, you'll see them go down to water and drink some. But if you have visited the center here, or if you go and visit other nature centers that have raptors, oftentimes you'll see pans of water in their aviaries. And usually those are bath pans. So these raptors do love to bathe, especially on hot days. You'll see them down in their bath pans, enjoying a nice bath. Are they found around cities in the Pacific Northwest? Yes, they are. They are found not necessarily in the cities, because like I said, they like kind of like more open country. But if you drive 5 minutes outside of Eugene, they're around there. So you will find them definitely close in. Yeah, trails. What do you think? Okay, looking for other questions here. I can switch over. A kestrel mode of surprise. Oh, so why are they able to catch? It's because they're fast. So essentially the question was, what's their skills and how do they catch mice? These guys are really quick. They will hover in the air. They'll see that mouse and they'll pounce down on it very fast. Another really crazy thing about birds of prey is that they can see into the ultraviolet spectrum, which is wild. And in the ultraviolet spectrum, urine glows. So they can follow trails of vole and mouse urine. It lights up like a neon sign, essentially, and they can follow where it's brightest. That means the vole or mole or mouse was there the most recently, and they can track those, which is pretty mind-blowing. I see a couple more questions. How old do they get and how long will they live in human care? So kestrels in human care, they have a lot longer lifespan. I guess I should start out by saying in the wild, about 80 to 90% of raptors do not make it past their first year. It is a hard life out there for a wild raptor. Your food is always running away from you. And on top of that, there are other predators that are trying to hunt you. There are cars and power lines and rodenticides and all of that stuff that, hi, Kirby. All of that stuff that is hard. So in the wild, these guys, if they make it, gosh, 5 or 6 years, they're doing pretty good. In human care, we would hope that Kirby would live until she was early teens, basically. Trying to get some messages up here. I expanded that. Do both parents help raise the chicks? Yes. There are some amazing and awesome kestrel nest box videos that you can watch. And they are so cute. You will see mom and dad both taking care of the babies. You will see dad doing a lot of the food catching and bringing food in to mom and babies. It is adorable. So you should definitely find kestrel, American kestrel nest cams, because they are out there. Do both parents help? Yep, we've got that one. Yeah, trails. So I've heard some airports are using trained raptors to scare off birds off the runways. Yes, that is true. A lot of falconers, to make a living, because they don't make a living hunting with their birds, will do what's called bird abatement. And that is when birds come and do stuff like they fly their birds. They don't actually have to catch anything. They just have to fly their big predatory birds around airports or vineyards, and it scares off all the little prey animals. So that's what they do for those bird abatement people. Do raptors from different parts of the world have different languages? I don't know that. I would assume that the Eurasian, so there is a Eurasian kestrel species, and I would assume they have very similar vocalizations, but I don't know that they, yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look that one up. That's a good question. Oh, hi. She said, there's a bunch of junk on the table. I want to go get it. You want this? Kirby Lou. Could you take a moment to talk about turkey vultures? Oh man, turkey vultures are my favorite. So yes, last summer they started roosting in a tall pine tree out in front and continue to do so. Last week I counted 3.5 dozen. That's a lot of turkey vultures. On a hot summer day, they smell from the droppings is strong. That's true. Is there anything I can do to discourage them? Their habitat is dwindling due to development. Unfortunately, not really. The reason they are probably all congregating together is that either you have a good place to roost, which it sounds like you do, and a plentiful amount of food. So turkey vultures have an amazing sense of smell. They're eating carrion, so dead food. So if they're hanging out there, that means they're finding enough dead things to eat off of. So I guess one way would be to clean up roadkill, but that's kind of mean because they got to eat something, right? Repeat the ultraviolet information, please. So what I was saying is that raptors can see into the ultraviolet spectrum. So just like a neon sign glows under like in UV light, so does urine from little mammals like mice and voles and stuff like that. So they can actually see that it glows and they can follow it because the pee glows the strongest where it's recent. That's what I was saying about that. Is she aware of your fingers separate from their food? Yes, she is. So if I do this, she's not biting my hand. She has this amazing eyesight that she can see her food, exactly where her food is coming from. Falcons, hawks, eagles, what's the difference? What sets them apart? Well, there's evolutionary, so they aren't closely related. They're all lumped into raptors because of the way they hunt. But if you look at falcons are actually most closely related to parrots, and hawks and eagles, they're actually lumped together. But yeah, so that's a big question. There is a lot of difference between hawks and eagles and falcons that I don't know that we have time to answer right now. What is your favorite kind of raptor to work with? Oh man, that is a loaded question. That changes every single day. Hi, Kirby. Kirby is frequently one of my favorite birds to work with, even though she is very loud. We've found that she is really great for these presentations if she has something to work with, and if she's not working on stuff, she likes to talk, which is why I've been giving her a lot of food. She will eventually get full. She is getting full. If you look at that crop right there, I can't actually see my screen anymore, so I can't tell it there. So this right here is called a crop, and that's a pocket where she stores all her food. So she has a lot of food in there right now, and when I put her back over the next couple of hours, she'll sit there and she'll do this kind of thing, which essentially is working all the food down into her belly. So yes, she is getting full right now, and I'm just trying to give her little pieces to pick at so she isn't so loud. How much does she eat? So Kirby eats less than her wild counterparts. Her diet nowadays is about 1.5 mice. In the wild, a kestrel was going to have to eat a lot more than that because they're exerting more energy essentially. Have you ever worked with a gyrfalcon? I have. We have 2 resident gyrfalcons. Uh-oh. Did that just go off? Kirby dropped something and it turned my screen off. Yeah, so we have 2 resident gyrfalcons that live here at the Cascades Raptor Center, and they are very cool birds. Gyrfalcons are the largest species of falcon in the world, and they are an Arctic bird, so they like to hang up more north. Kirby is one of the chillest birds in the center. Hi, Jasper. Jasper is one of our volunteers, and she is one of the chillest birds in the center. If you come and visit us, Kirby likes to sit right up front and talk to all the visitors that pass by. So I see some St. Lucius, and you saw an American Kestrel. How do some stay in the Caribbean rather than going back to the US or vice versa? Again, that just, I guess, depends on food availability. If there's a Kestrel that finds it really good down in the Caribbean, then they'll hang out down there. Just kind of depends on the individual. How are we doing on time? Can the public visit the center in Kirby and Friends? Yes, that's a good question. We are open to the public. We are open Tuesday through Sunday, so every day but Monday, all year long. So you can come in the winter when it's pouring rain and see these birds. You can come in the summer when it's beautiful and nice, and meet all the wonderful ambassadors here at the center. Okay. Do they have any mating dance? No, not really. So what they'll do is they will, the male will find the nest first, and kestrels nest in cavities. So they will find a old squirrel nest, or up in the rafters in the barn, or in a human-made kestrel box, which is a great way to encourage kestrels to be in your space if you have accurate or adequate fields and habitat for them. We are in Eugene, Oregon. Sorry, I just saw that. But yeah, so the male will find the nest, and then he will court the female by doing a lot of calling and flying around. And when she finds the perfect mate, she will go back to the nest, and that's where they will breed or mate in their nest boxes, and then have about usually 4 to 5 is on average how many eggs they have every year. Does Kirby, I didn't read that one, it went away. Let's see, go back to it. Does Kirby poop upon takeoff? Nice question. Basically, raptors sometimes do that because they want to lighten the load. So if they want to get up fast and they want to be faster and lighter, they will poop and pee and get rid of some of that excess weight. Are falcons migratory? Yes, a lot of falcons are migratory. We have kestrels here year round. We have most falcons here year round. The gyr falcons we only have in the winter time, and we're in Oregon, like I said. But yeah, falcons are definitely migratory. And how light or heavy is Kirby to hold on your glove? Kirby is very light. I said at the beginning, Kirby is about 116, actually exactly 116 grams. We weighed her right before this program. So she's a little bit heavier now because she's eaten some quail, but yeah. Are they a protected bird? Kestrels are protected under the Migratory Bird Act, which is what protects all native birds. So there are no extra special protections for American kestrels right now. Their populations aren't so low that they are endangered or anything like that. But the Migratory Bird Act protects all raptors. That's the same one that says that you can't have any kind of feathers from any raptors or any native birds, feathers or parts or eggs or anything like that. Will a peregrine kill and eat a kestrel? Yes. Yes. So would a red tail, so might an eagle if it could catch it, so might an owl. A lot of other raptor predators that might eat this small little predator. They're kind of, because of their size, the bottom of the food chain. Okay, well, I'm going to turn it back to BB. Thank you guys so much for having us again. And we happy birthday to BirdNote.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you for that amazing presentation. And thank you to Kirby as well. I know that I learned a lot of new stuff during that presentation. And one thing I really enjoyed was the fact that Kirby was enjoying a meal during the entire thing. So good multitasker there. Everybody don't leave yet. It's now time to shift a little bit to announce BirdNote's, the winners of BirdNote's 18th birthday photo contest. So I am just going to take a second here to share my screen so I can share those winners with you. The winners are on this event right now, so they are going to hear the results in live time as well. So before we get into that, I just wanted to say, first of all, that we got so many amazing submissions in. There were so many beautiful photos, so many different birds and countries and in different environments. And we really especially loved hearing or reading the stories behind all of the photo submissions. So thank you to everybody who submitted their photos into our 18th birthday photo contest. Ultimately, the winners were chosen by public vote. And so we have tallied those votes and are going to announce the first, second, and third place winners of the photo contest. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. This first slide here shows some of the top 18 photos. And so as you can see, we got some really, really nice, stunning photos in. So the third place winner in our 18th birthday photo contest is Michelle Talich, here with a photo of a peregrine falcon taking off in Coney Island in New York. It's just a really stunning shot, and how fitting for a raptor event. So Michelle says she and her friend watched this bird for several minutes on a windy day in late January, and the photo captures the moment right before the bird took off in front of the old parachute jump ride, which you can see in the background there. You can also see that the bird is banded, and Michelle mentioned she reported the band codes through the federal banding website and learned that the bird is female and was banded in May 2022. So I just really love this shot, and I really love that powerful story behind that shot. And Michelle's in the chat saying, "OMG, that's mine." So yes, congratulations, Michelle. Moving on to our second place winner, Jocelyn Anderson, with this super, super sweet photo of a sandhill crane family taken in Milford, Michigan. So Jocelyn says that she was walking along the nature trails on a spring day. She saw a family of sandhill cranes with 2 colts making their way nearby on a grassy path. The parents were plucking invertebrates from the tall grasses to feed the young ones as they continued on their morning walk. Several hawks and snapping turtles prowled the park, but the parents with their spear-like beaks do an excellent job of keeping their colts safe. And that's taken directly from Jocelyn's submission. So really beautiful words and really stunning capture. I love that you can see the sparkle in those colts' eyes, which is really, really incredible. So congratulations, second place, Jocelyn Anderson, with this really beautiful, sweet shot. Alrighty, and finally, our grand prize winner of BirdNote's 18th birthday photo contest is Heather Ross Kelly, with this amazing shot of whooping cranes in flight. This is just an incredible shot. It's taken in Aransas National Wildlife Refuge in Austell, Texas. And Heather says that during a trip to the wildlife refuge, she saw many whoopers, as they're called, and other Gulf Coast water birds and shorebirds. But the most thrilling moment came when 3 sub-adult whooping cranes flew at eye level next to their boat, which is amazing. They were so big and so close, she quickly pulled her camera out and hoped to capture something decent, which I think she definitely achieved that. Standing nearly 5 feet tall, whooping cranes are the tallest bird in North America and one of the rarest. Their numbers were reduced to as few as 15 in 1941, but now that number is more than 500 on the Texas Gulf Coast, due in part to federal protection under the Endangered Species Act. These whooping cranes winter in Aransas National Wildlife Refuge area and travel 2,500 miles by mid-April to nest in the Northwest Territories of Canada. So congratulations, Heather. This is truly, truly an amazing shot, and really powerful stories from everyone. So congratulations again to the top 3 winners, and again, thank you to everybody who submitted their photos through our photo contest. You can actually read their full stories and see all 3 of the top 3 winners on our website at birdnote.org. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, thank you to Carrie and Kirby, the Kestrel, and to Cascades Raptor Center, and to all the BirdNote staff for contributing and helping up making this event possible. Thank you to everyone for attending, and thank you for all of the amazing questions and the interactivity. If you'd like to know more about BirdNote, just go ahead and visit birdnote.org and watch out for a follow-up email from BirdNote coming tomorrow. And we'll definitely be doing more virtual events like this in the future. And yes, happy birthday to BirdNote, happy 18th birthday. And we will definitely see everybody next time.